I need you to hear this. Because once you do, you'll never look at the word suicide the same way again. This is the story of Ellen Greenberg, a 27-year-old teacher who was found stabbed 20 times. And yet, somehow, the official ruling was suicide. And for over a decade, her parents have been fighting to prove that their daughter was murdered. So today, I'm going to walk you through what happened. By the end of this video, you tell me, was this justice or the greatest cover-up in modern crime history? It was January 26, 2011, a freezing winter evening in Philadelphia. Ellen Greenberg, a beloved schoolteacher, had just returned home early from work. Snowstorm warnings were going out. Streets were quiet. She spoke to her parents. She spoke to her fiancé, Sam Goldberg. Everything seemed normal. But a few hours later, Ellen would be found dead. According to her fiancé, Sam, he had gone to the gym in their apartment building. When he returned, the door was locked from the inside. He claimed Ellen wasn't answering. That's when he says he kicked the door down. Inside, he found Ellen slumped against the kitchen cabinets. A knife was buried deep in her chest. Blood everywhere. Her body covered in stab wounds. Later, investigators counted 20. 10 to the neck and back. 10 to the chest. She also had multiple bruises in various stages of healing, which suggests earlier injuries. Now, I don't care how skeptical you are. How does someone stab themselves 20 times, including in the back? When police arrived, they didn't treat it as a homicide scene. No investigation into forced entry. No real suspects interviewed. No full timeline reconstructed. Instead, within hours, the case was leaning toward suicide. But here's the craziest part. Ellen's death certificate was first labeled homicide. The medical examiner, Dr. Marlon Osborne, initially concluded, no one stabs themselves that many times. But then, after a closed-door meeting with law enforcement, he changed it. The official cause of death, suicide. Just like that. Think about it. A woman with 20 stab wounds, including wounds to the back of her neck, is now labeled as someone who somehow did it to herself. Ellen's parents, Joshua and Sandra Greenberg, did not accept that ruling. They hired private investigators. They brought in forensic experts. They filed lawsuits. They begged the courts to let them reopen the case. One forensic pathologist gave a sworn statement. This was not a suicide. It was staged. Another expert noticed no blood on Ellen's hands, meaning she didn't handle the knife repeatedly. Bruises on her arms and legs, signs of defensive struggle. The stab to the back of her neck went so deep it hit her spinal cord, likely paralyzing her, meaning she couldn't have delivered the rest of the wounds herself. Even crazier, the knife handle had no fingerprints, not even Ellen's. For years, investigators refused to reopen the case. But in 2024, everything changed. A new Hulu docuseries, Death in Apartment 603, brought Ellen's case to national attention. Details that had been buried for years were now on every screen in America. And under pressure, the same medical examiner who ruled suicide officially stated he now wants it changed. Let that sink in. The man who signed off on suicide is now saying he was wrong. But guess what? The ruling still hasn't been changed. The system is dragging its feet. So I want to ask you, because apparently the justice system won't. How does someone stab themselves 20 times, including in the spine, and keep going? Why was her fiancé never fully interrogated? Why did police close the case in hours? Why did the medical examiner reverse his decision after meeting with investigators? And most importantly, why is this still not being treated as a homicide? Ellen's parents wake up every day knowing their daughter's killer may still be walking free. They're not asking for revenge. They're asking for truth. And right now, they don't have it. So I'll leave you with this. If Ellen Greenberg didn't kill herself, then someone else did. And until that's acknowledged, her story isn't over. If you believe Ellen deserves justice, don't let this case go silent. Comment, reopen the case. Share her story. Say her name. Justice ignored is justice denied. Finally, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more hidden stories on true crime and social injustice. See you in the next video.